Hey Math Superstars, it's Dr. Conklin here to do a pretty quick lesson with you on page 13 in our packet. If you have the packet, awesome, please write in because we're going to ask you to hand this page in. And if you don't, if you could just get a piece of paper and follow along. So I want to start on the top with number 1, and these are when we have equations with variables on both sides. So what's a little bit tricky about number 1 is that we have a couple of steps here to solve. If we look, it looks like there's a lot going on the left side of the equation. So let's combine some like terms here. So I'm going to start by combining 7m and negative 6m. So just be careful in your calculator, you want to type in 7 minus 6, which would be 1m, and then negative 7 minus 16. Again, calculator, negative 23 equals 1 plus 4m. So now there's a couple ways to solve this. I'm going to just write down the middle, draw my line. So let's take away 4m from both sides. We're going to solve here. We have negative 3m minus 23 equals 1. And then this just becomes a two-step equation, which you guys are awesome at. Let's add 23 to both sides. So I'm going to just move my work over here. Negative 3m equals 24. And then you want to think to yourself, what's our very last step here? Dividing both sides by negative 3. So m equals negative 8. Okay, so that's a little bit of a trickier one just because we have to solve by first combining like terms, but I think you guys got that. All right, and then let's actually go down to number 9, and we're going to come back to 5 and 7 in a second. But number 9 is sort of the same idea, that in order to solve here, we first have to do a little bit of trickery, meaning we need to get rid of these parentheses. So we're going to use our good old friend distributive property, not once, but twice. So let's distribute here. 4 times 3r is 12r. 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16r, and negative 8 times 5 is minus 40. Okay? Now this just becomes like a normal equation. So maybe you even want to pause the video and try this on your own. So let's add 16r to both sides. All right, we have 28r plus 16 equals, and just be careful here guys, that negative doesn't go away. It's a negative 40. Let's take away 16 from both sides. So 28r equals negative 56. And then this works out nicely when we keep solving, right? Again, make sure as you guys are going through these, if you want to pause your video to check, negative 40 minus 16 is a negative 56. So then at this step here, we have a negative divided by, this step here, we have a negative divided by a positive. So we're left with a negative 2. Again, definitely using our calculators. Okay, so those are a review of 2 of the harder kinds of problems we've done. And now we're going to look at 2 sort of totally different questions. So let's go back up to number 5. And we're going to solve this. So before we can do anything, I see my parentheses, so I want to distribute this 5. So we have negative 5 plus 5n. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35 equals negative 40 plus 5n. Now you might notice something here. When we go to solve, right, we're going to combine like terms. So negative 5 minus 35 means we have 5n minus 40 equals negative 40 plus 5n. You might want to take a second here. What do you guys notice if we look at the left and right side? We have 5n and 5n, and we have negative 40 and negative 40. So these equations are actually the same. So let's go ahead. What happens if we solve here? If I take away 5n from both sides, again, I'm lining up the like terms, the n's, I'm left with negative 40 equals negative 40. So what's up with that, guys? Well, is this a true or false statement? Does negative 40 equal negative 40? That's absolutely true, right? So what does that mean for this equation? Well, that means that any solution will work. The answer to this is infinitely many solutions. So if we were in class right now, and we'll probably do this in class if you guys are coming in, is we'd actually just take a second and we pick a whole bunch of numbers. So let's take 1 second And let's just pretend like n is 3. I'm just picking any random number. If I plug in 5 plus 5 times 3 minus 7 equals negative 40 plus 5 times 3. So again, I'm looking to see, is this a solution? If I evaluate this left side and I put this in my calculator, I'm going to get 5 plus 5 times negative 4. 5 plus negative 20 is negative 15. Does that equal the same thing on the right side? Well, let's plug in. I'm going to multiply first our PEMDAS rules. Right, when I do that, I get 5 times 3 is 15. Hold on, did I do something wrong, guys? Oh, this should be a negative 5. Hello, negative 5, negative 5. Sorry, guys, I knew something was wrong. That's why we always check our work, right? Negative 25. And when I simplify here, on this side, I also get negative 25. So I just picked any number, and it worked. This is true for anything. I could pick any number in the entire history of mathematics, and it would work. I could pick a positive, a negative, a decimal, a fraction. So the solution to this, when you cancel out both the variables, and it's true, is infinitely many. Now, let's look at number 7. This is a little bit different. So let's solve here. I'm going to distribute the negative 6. So 6x plus 1 equals negative 6. And then a negative times a negative is a plus 6x. So now look what happens when I take away 6x from both sides. When I do that, I have 1 equals negative 6. So is that true or is that false? Remember that not equal to we learned last week? This is false. That means not only does this solution, we can't get like we can't just say x equals 1 or x equals 2. This means there's no number that will make this true. So our answer is called a no solution. Okay? Those are a little bit harder questions, but they will come up once in a while. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do for homework tonight is homework is going to be finishing this page 13, and you're going to do 2 through 10 even. So we'd like you to take a picture of these questions so we can check your work. And then also be nice because we'll make sure that you have the notes done from the video too. So I hope you guys have a great day. Again, please let us know if we have questions or if we can help in any way. Keep up the great work.